Hello, hello, welcome. Feel free to say hi so I know who's here. Welcome to this off the cuff, improvised, and a little bit late CO Visit live stream here on YouTube direct. Welcome, welcome. Wait for a few more people to come in. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? On what is, according to some, for some people, our last day on Earth once again. So I'll wait a few minutes for more to come in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't be bashful. Say hi. How's everybody doing today? Hey, CJ, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to read you anyway. Welcome, welcome. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, just kind of, I started late anyway. And, but we're going to talk about here, evidently, I'd actually heard about this later on by Watchtower's account, the 120 years, whatever the case might be, but that's like 2034 or something like that. But I guess evidently there's this whole uproar about the rapture tomorrow. I saw somebody talking about it this morning, and they were saying, you know, what do you think? Is it going to be the rapture tomorrow, September 23rd? And I'm like, what? I didn't hear anything about that. So this was news to me. So kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if you guys maybe in the chat you can sound off if any of you heard about any of this, about the supposedly the biblical rapture being tomorrow. I don't know. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the rule here always is, if you want personalized greetings, hey, how are you doing, Raccoon? Good to see you. If you want, see, oh, I said, ay, rapidito. If you want a personalized greeting or anything like that, then you have to send a super chat, super thanks. That's how I roll, okay? Because there's a lot of trolls. So if you want attention, trolls, Monet, pay. Yeah, I knew that. See, they just dropped immediately. The the people in the dropped immediately in the chat went from like 14 to 8. Yeah. Yep, skedaddle. Goodbye. So anyway, yeah, there's supposedly tomorrow, September 23rd, is the rapture. That's what I heard today. So now I've seen all kinds of videos about it, and I'm just like, what? This is new to me. So you see, guys, it's not just the witnesses. It's not just the organization always with these predictions and these scares and all this stuff, and I don't know. It's weird. Okay, sprayo algo. No sé. Ahí estaba en la refri. No sé quién lo trajo. So how's everyone doing today on this Monday afternoon? Hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Is there life? So yeah, so I guess that's what the situation is right now. And once again, you know, and I heard actually too about people were saying that there are people. I mean, it was kind of like and this is we're talking about, you know, other Christian religions, not the Jehovah's Witnesses, but the mainstream Christian religions that believe in that believe in the rapture, and so they're talking about this, and people are selling their belongings and their cars and all this stuff. So Bautista, hello, hola, hola, bienvenido, bienvenido, gracias por estar aquí. What if we went to hell, just like in South Park? The JW asking who had the truth. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I mean, who knows? You know, who knows in the end? Who knows what the real deal is? Now, the whole thing is with this whole situation, this whole situation with the rapture. Yeah, Bautista, that we can do this in English or Spanish, whichever you want. Doesn't matter to me. I live in Honduras, so, and it was the Mormons, yeah. And you know, even though I'm Christian, okay, I'm Christian and I believe in Jesus and all of that, and I read the Bible, but I'm still not. And you know what? I should say that for me, the jury is out, and I don't want to make conclusions about the rapture, the doctrine, the belief, because I feel like I could still be influenced from my JW background. So I don't really want to say one way or the other, but I'm not completely sold yet on that doctrine, even though I'm Christian still, and I've adopted the Christian faith and accepted Jesus and all of that, and but I've read those portions of the Bible that they base the rapture on, and I've watched any number of videos. I've watched scholars talk about it, and I don't know, guys. This is just me, you know. And you know, the mainstream Christianity, most Christian religions believe in the rapture in one form or another, and I mean they're really into that. And you know, I've watched the videos. There's all these movies out there and the rapture, and you got to be ready and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not one way or the other, but I'm just not convinced. You know, I see the scriptures about it. There's a scripture in the Gospels, you know, where Jesus talked about that there'd be two women and one would be taken. There'd be one person out in the field or two people out in the field, and one would be taken, one would be left behind. And then both Peter and Paul talk about it, where, you know, they'd be taken away to the clouds in the twinkling of an eye, and they'd be transformed and all of that. Now, is that talking about the rapture, or is that talking about when they die and they go to heaven? I mean, I don't know. It's not, to me, it's just, it's not clear. It's really not clear. And the whole belief system of that and the way it's portrayed in the videos I watched on YouTube for years really, and the way that the scholars talk about it, you know, about all the believers just disappearing, you know, and their clothes being left behind and all of that, and then the people who are left behind on earth, they have to go through the tribulation, and you know, I don't know. It just, there's a lot of that stuff that, you know, I read those accounts, and to me, it just doesn't seem like it's very clear what it's really talking about. And it seems like to me that the whole idea of the rapture has kind of become like it's kind of an oral tradition that's been added, and all these kind of more sensational things have been added to it over the centuries, you know, and it's just kind of been accepted now as, well, that's what the Bible's talking about. But when you actually read the scriptures about it, to me, it's not clear. It's really not clear. I mean, it's like reading the book of Revelation or Apocalypse, you know, the Apocalypse, you know. I mean, it just, what amount of that has already been fulfilled, what's still left. I mean, I think one thing that's definitely true, that's pretty clear in the Bible, is when it talks about Christ's second coming, which is tied in with that time of the tribulation and all of that, that it says that, hey, Jackie, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping in. It says that every eye will see him. Okay. And none of this JWBS of, the invisible coming and all of that. No. It says that very clear in the Bible. It's not invisible. Jesus' second coming will be visible to everybody on earth. And that's something that there'll be absolutely no doubt. So how that's all tied in, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys in the chat if you can sound off on it, if you've heard anything about this supposed rapture tomorrow on the 23rd. And the only thing I can say is that what I've heard about, people selling their cars and stuff like that and emptying out their bank accounts, regardless of what religion they're a part of, it's going to be a 1975 all over again. That's what it's going to be. I mean, they're going to be in for a big, big disappointment. Same thing happened, in 1999. Same thing happened in 2012 twice. There was this cult that was pushing the 2012 date. It failed both times, and it's just like exactly what you're saying, Jackie. When dates are thrown in, that's when you sit back and just shake your head. Exactly. I did the same thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Another end of the world or another rapture date or another, and people are just setting themselves up to, people are so desperate. They're so desperate. And when you look at this, guys, what's so disappointing about it is it's not just the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's not just the witnesses. All these other churches they're on the bandwagon as well with the, with the sensationalism and getting people all worked up about the end or about the rapture. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. If aliens come back, okay, let's go to the, well, I want to see their intentions first, though. I really don't see honestly, I don't see what aliens showing up has anything to do. I think aliens showing up kind of blows the whole religion out of the water. That's why I think they want to keep it hidden. They want to keep it hidden. They don't want us to know, because if aliens show up, what does that mean? And this is what I talked about in one of my videos. What does that mean? What does it mean for religion? Does that mean there's God created other planets out there with people and it was just ours that messed up? Or maybe theirs messed up too, but they fix things faster, or I don't know. It just, yeah. Cook them a good dinner, yeah. So to me, it just seems like actually aliens show up would completely blow the Bible and everything out of the water, because why wasn't it mentioned? Where did these beings come from? What do they believe in? What did and that's just totally, to me, that would be the nail in the coffin. If that did happen and they showed up, I'd just be like, okay, well, I'm done with the religion. That's the end of that, because what's out there? What else don't we know about? Yeah, California has enough aliens. Yeah. Yeah. And New Mexico too. Yeah. But it was funny, guys, right? Hey sis, how are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome. So it was funny at the beginning, it was just a joke, but at the beginning, there was like, and I knew the majority of them were trolls, because I never have that many people. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, sis. What's your view on that? Because I just saw this today, like in the morning. I had no idea. And all of a sudden I see all these videos. Oh, is it the rapture tomorrow? And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me again. So what do you think about it? What's your opinion? But yeah, so at the crapture, so at the beginning of the video, there was like 28 people in the chat, and I said, okay, anybody, if you're looking for special shout outs or anything like that, because there's all these trolls, I said the deal is, if you want a shout out, you have to send a super chat. You have to send money. And right away, boom, the number went right down to like 8. And I was like, you sons of bitches. Hey, nothing is free in this world. Don't fool yourselves. Artistic, hey, how are you doing? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, well, that's what I said, sis. The same thing. It's like 1975 all over again. But the amazing thing is, these are the mainstream religions pushing this stuff. What happened, artistic? Oh, they're saying that tomorrow, September 23rd, is the rapture. So there's all this stuff on YouTube. There are videos and all these people doing live streams and it's the rapture tomorrow. And I'm just like, oh man, are you people stupid? You know, we just don't get it, do we? I mean, like I was saying at the beginning, some of you hadn't been in yet. Jackie wasn't here and Sis wasn't here, but I was just saying that even though I'm Christian, I still profess Christianity and I accepted Jesus and all of that, I'm not sold on that doctrine yet. Janel Lopez, qué bueno, yo también, bienvenido. So it's just you know, I'm not sold on that doctrine yet. I'm not convinced one way or the other, but I haven't seen enough biblical evidence I just chalk it up to one of those things that we don't know. We don't know. Well, qué bueno, Jonael, qué bueno. Sigue aprendiendo. De eso se trata, poco a poco. So it just, you know, it's, yeah, right, exactly, artistic. But the rapture it's a pretty accepted doctrine in the Christian faith, where right before this time period called the tribulation, all of the Christians will be basically taken to heaven. So their bodies will just disappear and the clothes will be left behind and their cars will crash into houses and stuff like that. And then all the people who are left behind on earth will be tortured and they'll have to go through the tribulation and all of that. And the earth will be burned up and all of that stuff. So it's loosely based on some scriptures in the Bible, where in the Gospels, the 4 Gospels, Jesus talked about how and they think it's tomorrow. Exactly, they think that's going to happen tomorrow. And Jesus talked about, there's one scripture where he talked about, you know, there would be 2 women working and one would be taken, one would be left behind. There'd be 2 people in the field, one would be taken. But that's all he says. He doesn't explain what it means. He doesn't, you know, there's really, you know, I don't know. I don't really know. It's just, I've studied it. I've watched videos about it. I've watched biblical scholars talk about it. And I just don't see where they're getting that part of it from, because I don't see the explanation in the Bible. I really don't see it. So I'm kind of just, let's wait and see. You know, let's wait and see if that ever does happen. You know, I mean, the Bible, yeah, right. You can use that excuse. But when I see people like selling stuff, selling their cars, it's just like, man, you people are crazy. Right, artistic, exactly. And this has happened just in my lifetime. I'm 44 years old, and you know, it's happened so many times just since I've been alive, you know. And of course, it's just sensationalism, and it's a way to make money, and you know, so it just, people don't learn. And at the end of the day, you know, when Jesus talked about the end times and talked about his presence and his return, he said nobody knows the time. Nobody knows the hour. Just be alert. Be alert. That's all he said. You know? Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like, why would you sell anything? Why would you sell your stuff? Why would you sell it? If you really believe it and you're going to heaven, what would you care? Right? I mean, it just shows you that people don't really believe it. 'Cause I'm going to sell my stuff just in case it doesn't happen, right? So it's like, well, then you don't really believe it then. That's just bullshit. I mean, come on. Yeah, well, you know, that's, and part of that was my past being a Jehovah's Witness. I don't take anything just because. You know, I'm you know, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. the Bible is, it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by, and I'm not just, I'm Christian now, so now I accept the rapture and I accept this and that and the Trinity, and no, it's just I need to see actual proof of this, and so I think if God really wanted us to know certain things, it would have been in His Bible. Some things are very clear in the Bible. It doesn't take much to understand certain things, and other things either we don't need to understand it right now, or but when people start putting dates on things, right, and we shouldn't, artistic, absolutely, we shouldn't. It's really hard to know, or almost impossible, what the thoughts of the people who wrote it were and what they were really trying to say, and then the translations on top of that over thousands and thousands of years. I mean, there's no way it's not adulterated. There is absolutely no way. Because everybody that's translated the Bible has had some agenda, and have translated things to their own convenience. And this has happened over centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries, millennia. So who knows what we're reading, if it's really what it was back then, or how much has it deviated from the original. I mean, there's no way to know. There's really no way. So I just kind of, I just take things as they come, and I take a lot of things with a grain of salt, and as far as the rapture being tomorrow, well, the only thing I'm planning on tomorrow is getting up as I always do and going to work, because that's never changed in my life. Never. God has never told me, I don't want you to get up and go to work today. Okay, is that where you're from, in India? That's awesome. Well, welcome, and thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. That's what my main channel, the CO Visit. You can go there, and if you want, you can subscribe, join us, join our family. And I have a background as a Jehovah's Witness, and I left that religion, and then I talk about that belief system and try to get people to open their eyes. So that's kind of what we talk about. But we talk about everything, a little bit of everything. Yes, yeah, I saw what you did there, Jackie. I saw what you did there. That was smart. Scientology, oh my goodness, that's just stupidity. Complete and utter stupidity. Really. Yeah, that's just literally a religion that was started by a science fiction writer as a joke, and then people took it and ran with it. And they've turned it into something like a legitimate religion, and they actually believe that stuff. It's such BS. I'm sorry, but it's so ridiculous. So absurd. Well, because the government supports it, artistic, because it's their right. They have the First Amendment, the freedom of religion. So people can believe in whatever they want. So, if it's making money, so, Scientology has a lot of supporters and a lot of people with money. They don't pay taxes, which is just crazy. So, yes. Well, and the same with my ex-religion, the Jehovah's Witnesses, same thing. Lots of child abuse, and that's in all the religions. It's just everywhere. Anywhere that people have access to children, easy access, religion is one of the biggest ones. There's going to be child predators, always. Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses is an American religion that started in the late 1800s. It's an offshoot of the Adventist religion, which was started by C.T. Russell in the late 1800s. And so basically they believe in Jehovah. Jehovah is their only true God. Jesus Christ is his son, but he's not God. Okay. Hey, reasonable to conclude. Hola, welcome. Hey, hola, amor. Pensé que era otra persona. So if you see JR there, that's my wife. You can say hi to her. That's my wife. Basically, it's a cult. Yes. So, they got so many crazy beliefs. Okay. They don't celebrate birthdays. They don't celebrate Christmas. They don't vote. They don't accept blood transfusions. Okay. So that's my wife, Patty. That's my wife, Patty. So yeah, she's in the chat today saying hi to me. So making sure I'm being good. Yeah. So yeah, that was the religion that I was raised in. And then about 10 years ago, I left that. Yeah, no, it wasn't my decision, artistic. I was born into it. So I was born into that religion and raised into it. And then 10 years ago, I left. I gave it up, walked away. I said, it's enough. I'm done with this. So since then, so Jackie dice, amor, mucho amor, dice. A ti. So lots of, it's a cult. It's a cult. There's lots of child abuse. And yeah, people also have lost their life because they don't accept blood transfusions. That's part of their doctrine. So it's pretty complicated religion. But yeah, they have a big problem with child abuse as well. Big problem. And a lot of that's being exposed now and it's coming out. And so we talk a lot about that. We talk about their doctrines. We try to help current members open their eyes and leave and come out, come to freedom. Yes, I did. I did question the existence of God. I was atheist for quite a few years. I became atheist, and then eventually I came back to my faith. So absolutely, I did. Yep. Well, what made me a Christian? Well, I think a lot of influence that obviously was the fact that I was raised in a I guess you could say Christian, if you can call them that. But reading the Bible and believing in Jesus and all of that. But I think when I left and then came back to Christianity, I did it on my own terms, and I think a little bit more precise and accurate than what the Jehovah's Witnesses believe, certainly. But I came back with a lot more caution and not just believing anything at face value, of course. So but I've looked at a lot of other religions and things, and there's things that I think are really interesting about many of them. A lot of the more like spiritual viewpoints and but then again, I'm also a big believer in people's freedom. Maybe that's maybe an influence of my culture. But I'm very much a believer liberally in people making their own decisions, and just other people not getting involved in those decisions. Live and let live. Let each person make their own decisions, believe the way they want to believe. And I also I don't believe in. Oh, we got some puppies here. Yeah, my dog gave birth about a month ago, and she's got her little puppies over there. So they're over there barking and crying. And ¿Qué fue, amor? Estoy bien, amor. Gracias. Ya tomé. Sí, es que cuando puse esto aquí se me cayó y no estaba tapado. Y se cayó un montón ahí. Yeah. You want one? Oh, I'd give you one for sure. I'm going to give them away. We're going to keep 2. And she had 6 puppies. So we're going to keep 2, and the other 4 we're going to give away. So there's a white one and there's a little black one. We're going to keep them, a boy and a girl, and then get them fixed and everything. And yeah, and I agree, artistic, and that's great. That's great. I think it's always a good idea just to have an open mind, and just saying, hey, you know what? I'm still, I will. Yeah, I do. I have to make a video of them. Yeah, I'll do that, Jackie. Definitely. That's a good idea. So yeah, and we got some cats too. One of the cats gave birth too, so we got all kinds of little animals here right now. But yeah, it's a good idea, very good idea always to just do research, keep studying, keep learning. Oh yeah, and I'm always artistic. You know what? I'm always debating, but in the sense of learning. I don't try to debate with people like, oh, I'm going to convince you you're wrong. And no, none of that. I just like to know what other people believe and why and what their viewpoint is, and just learn, right? And just learn. But as I was saying, also, I don't follow and I don't like religions that oppress women, for example. I've always believed that, like, you know, women's rights to make decisions and dress the way they want and things like that. And I don't aspire to or subscribe to any type of religion that oppresses people in any way, when of course the men have just free reign to do whatever they want. And I don't think that's right. So that's why, you know, religions like you know, like Islam and things like that, I just no, thank you, but not for me. You know, I'm too liberal for that. So being the infidel that I am, you know. But yeah, so I can probably I can show you guys. Hold on a second. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna show you the pup. I can turn my camera around. Let's see where they are. See if they're over here. Weena, hola Weena. So here they are. Here's the puppies. Puppies. Hello, puppies. Puppy dogs. Oh, there's Maxito. Maxito. Hello, Maxito. Hello. Hello. And there's the other ones. So this white and black one, we're gonna keep her. She's gonna stay with us. And the brown ones we're gonna give away. This one has a little white part on her head there. Yes, they're bilingual. Yep. Yep. My hinano. Mi enano. Oh, mi enano. Enano. Yes. Oh, yes. Mire. They're playing right now, biting each other. Yep. Y la mouse. Y the cats. Here's the kitties. There's one right there. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty. ¿Y dónde están? Aquí están algunos. There's another one right there. She's sleeping. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, kitty. ¿Y los otros? Aquí están. Here's the other. They're all over the place. Here's the other ones. They're sleeping. Kitties. Kitties, kitties. I got two over here, two over there. They're just all over the place. Yep. Oh, if you guys were here, I would definitely give you one. Absolutely. They're so pretty. Yeah. So this is Mama. This is the mama dog. This is Queenie. Queenie. Hi, Queenie. Hi, Queenie. Hola, Queenie. Ah, mírala, mírala. That's Mama. There's Mama Cat. Mama Cat. Well, your parents won't allow you? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's happy. Queenie's happy. Queena. Hi, Queena. Hi, Queena. Yeah. So I'll tell you guys a funny story about the kittens, and that's actually true, Jackie. We've got another cat, which is our main cat, like our house cat, and her name's Pinky, except she's gray, but we call her Pinky. Just I don't know why. And Pinky, we got her We got her fixed, so she's operated. She can't have any kittens or anything like that. And a while back, this was a couple years ago already, when she saw one of the other kittens having babies, and she can't have babies, and so she took off. She disappeared at night, and then the next morning, I got up. I was getting ready for work and everything, and I opened the front door, and here's Pinky sitting there looking up at the door with this other little kitten, this gray kitten just like her. She went and stole it from who knows where, and she brought this kitten home. And I'm like, and I told my wife, I'm like, Patty, I'm like, come here. I was like, who is that? And she's like, oh my God. And it was so funny because she brought home this kitten like, oh, everybody else is having babies. I want to bring one home too. Yes. And they do that. They do. I was just shocked. I know. I was shocked. But I'm like, but Jackie, I'm like, where did she get this cat from? I was like, who did she steal? There must have been some other cat somewhere that had babies, had kittens, and she went and stole her. And here we are sitting there, and she's just looking at me like these big eyes. It was like the Puss in Boots eyes. Like, can I have her? Can I? Yeah, I know. No, I'm both artistic. I have cats and dogs here. So, and most of them are strays. They just wandered in here, and yeah, but I was just like, wow. I was like, that's just unbelievable. Talk about the instinct of animals, like the maternal instinct to want to have babies. I was just floored. I was like, that is unbelievable. I can't even believe, like she went and found a kitten and then brought it home. Like, here we go. And all this cat's here. And he's like big now. This was like 3 years ago, and he's big now. He's this big male cat, and, but that was just so funny when that happened. I was just floored. But yeah, talk about smart. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Jackie, she might come home with a baby. Who knows? Yeah. And also the funny thing was when, the other cat that we have here, that was a stray, when she had just given birth, and then it was like just a couple weeks later, our dog gave birth, and so we didn't know when she was going to give birth. We were waiting, like, it could be any day now, and then we heard her, like, it was like in the morning. It was like 2:00 in the morning, 3 in the morning, something like that, and we could hear her like fighting or something. Like she was rawr, rawr, like, and so we got up and like, oh, what's wrong with Queenie? And get this, guys, the female cat was trying to take her pups as they were being born and take them over to where her kittens were. She was trying to take them away. It was unbelievable. And poor Queenie, because Queenie was still in the process of giving birth and she couldn't really like defend herself or anything. And the mama kitten, the mama cat, was trying to take her puppies, and we're like, oh, bring them back here. We're like, leave her alone. Oh, so then once we saw her giving birth, we're like, oh, we got to separate them and stuff, because, it's like the female cat, she just thinks, oh, they're babies too, and she just gave birth, so she's like, they're my babies. They're fighting over the babies. Oh my goodness, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, just crazy. Yep. So anyway, but yeah, yeah, I definitely, as far as getting back to our topic, but I'll make another video I'll show the puppies on another video. Oh yeah, exactly. Well, and the funny thing is, sis, this morning when we got up, and I think cats do this to, like, I don't know if they're doing it to train the kittens or get them used to like coming back to the house and finding the house. But we got up in the morning, all the kittens were gone. All the kittens were gone. We couldn't find them. And my wife got the mama cat, and she was like scolding her, and she's like, you bring those kittens back here. Bring the kittens back now. And then she was like, where? And she took off. And then like, I had to go to work, and I left, and she was like, no. I said, did you find the kittens? Oh, she brought them back. I don't know where she had them, but I was like, wow, that's incredible. But yeah, it's like they take them out and they like drop them off all over. They were like all spread out in the woods, and then like to I think it's to let the kittens like kind of find their own way and like find the house and the scent and everything. And so they're like training them. Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable, unbelievable when you watch that whole process, how they get them to like the dog does it too. Like when she gets to a certain point where she doesn't want to like breastfeed them anymore, so she'll push the dogs away and she'll kind of like nip at them. And so now that the dogs are about a month, we tried with like the small dog food for puppies, and the dogs are just happy as can be, just eating and stuff. And then they just lay there and they fall asleep and they're yeah. Tylenol? No, King. I'm okay. I'm okay. Yes, exactly. Yep. Yep. When she's weaning them, and it's like, but she's just like, no, I'm done. Because it's the animal kingdom. That's how it is. They gotta survive. They gotta survive. They gotta get them out there, and it's like you gotta get up. You gotta stop being dependent on me. Get out there and hunt. Get out there and whatever. So hobbies, reading. I like to read. I'm a teacher. I work at a school, and I'm the art teacher. I teach art and music. I play instruments. I play guitar. I like to sing. My YouTube channel, that's my hobby as well. The tree. This is a walnut tree. Yep, these are my babies, my trees. I got two of them. This one and that one over there. They're huge. Yep. Yep, they're walnut trees. Yep. I love them. I love them. They're wonderful shade trees. Yep. Yep. So yeah, I teach art and music in high school. So fatty acids, yeah. Yep. But we have them more for, we don't really eat the fruits ever. We could. I mean, we could, you know, we really waste a lot of them, but they're, walnuts are expensive. But it's more for the shade. They're excellent shade trees. Yeah. These trees are only about 4 years old, so they've grown a lot. My age, I'm 44, King. 44 years old. Yep. So anywho, oh, that's good. Cool. Yep. Yeah, they're pretty common here, and what I like about them is these trees are very, very suited to the climate here. They're very resilient. Don't need like to be watering them or anything like that. They're very good for shade all year. They give you shade. They do shed their leaves. Their leaves drop off, but they come back. My age is just ripe for ideology. Not really. Not really. Nah, I'm pretty set in my ways on that. That chapter is in my life. Ideology. Nah, not really. Philosophy. Yeah, I mean, I study things. Really, my viewpoint on philosophy, artistic, is just a whole bunch of people that have no clue. They're just trying to make sense out of this life. Just like all of us, trying to give some meaning to something that maybe doesn't have any meaning. Maybe we're just here. To start being, well, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's different with each person. I think we have to go through our own journey and our own awakening and in our own life experiences. And I certainly don't think we can base it off of just Jesus. Well, Jesus was 29. Okay, well, maybe in his case that worked for him. Of course, being the son of God and being perfect, that's a whole nother experience. So, but Anyway, people, well, happy rapture tomorrow. And we'll come back and I'll try to do a live stream tomorrow when it doesn't happen. And then we can catch up with everybody. So stay tuned. Yeah, no, artistic, I don't. I don't. I don't think we should believe in any gurus. You know why? Because gurus are just they're just men. They're just humans. That's all they are. They don't know anything more than you or I or so like I said, just go through your own journey. Don't listen to anybody else because they're just as lost as you are or me, you know. So, yeah, don't believe in anybody. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if there truly is a God, I think we all have the ability to connect to them. I don't think there's anybody more. Okay, King, yeah, well, it's my dad's 71, so you could be my dad, you know. So both my mom and dad are both 71. Yeah. So um I think that just, the biggest fallacy ever is following other human beings thinking that they have a bigger understanding. No, they're not. No, they're not. Philosophers and all these people, they use all these big words and try to sound all intellectual, and they don't know anything. Nobody knows any more than anybody else. We just have to wait until we die to figure it out. Either nothing's going to happen or maybe we'll see you on the other side. Like Ozzy Osbourne said, I don't know. I really don't know, you know. So, we just have to wait and see. Exactly. Exactly, sis. I agree with you totally. Artistic, I think either way, I don't think we should live carelessly or don't care. Whatever the truth is, okay, Jackie, thank you. Whatever our meaning is here, or whether there's none at all, I think we should try to be the best people that we can. I think we should try to leave some mark on this world, try to do something productive, try to leave something behind. Because, I mean, what else are you going to do? Right? What else can you do, really? I mean, um, just living you know, carefree life, don't doing anything, oh, I don't care, I'm just gonna party, that's not happiness either. I've been there, done that. And it's not fulfilling. There's no meaning in it. There is meaning in helping other people, learning, teaching others, um, music, art. There is meaning in that. And something that um, just connects you to something greater. I do think there is an energy out there that connects all of us in some way, and even to the past. So just live your life, be a good person, be good to others, and I think the world will be a lot better place without all the ideologies and all the fighting about religion and all of that. Just forget about all that. That's how I live my life. You know, all that does is just it takes your energy away. All that stuff. People trying to prove that they're right. So anyway, guys, well, I think for this improvised live stream, that's about long enough. So I'm gonna let everybody go. Thank you for being here. Artistic, nice to meet you. Thank you for being here on this live stream. It seems like you've been on here before. I seem to recognize you, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But feel free to connect with me over on my channel, the CO Visit. Okay, it's C.O.Visit. Okay, because CO is abbreviation for Circuit Overseer. Okay, and you can go over to the channel. We can connect over there as well. You can watch the videos, and we have live streams and all of that. So I'd love to have you on board with us. Everybody else, like the video. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Like and subscribe. And thank you for supporting us over here always. And take care, everybody, okay? And we'll connect tomorrow and see what happens with the rapture. So see you then, okay? Take care, everybody. Be blessed. All right? if I can get this thing to shut off. Here we go.